In my last video, I alluded toward the idea that I would go ahead and do a video of making that simple box. And I was asking for comments to request it, and at the recording of this particular video, I haven't received any comments yet. But I've decided I'm going to go ahead and make the box anyways. Now, one of the downsides of drying your own wood is you get all sorts of ugliness in the wood. Now, this piece of wood will yield at least one, possibly two sides of the box. And this piece of wood may actually yield the two sides and two ends. This would really actually yield just the two ends. And it's always good to, when you're milling wood, to mill extra, because now look at this one. It is definitely not flat on one side. This side is also not flat, so I'm going to start milling and see what I can get out of this. Now, for a contrasting color for the top, I'm thinking I'm going to use this wood here and make the top out of that. So, but I won't cut this wood until the box is actually created, so then I can make the top to fit the box. For some reason, I thought that this wood was cherry. Turns out that it's dogwood. It's got a pink color to it, which is the way raw dogwood looks. It's really nice wood. And then it's got this green coloration. This is all heartwood, and dogwood kind of has this coloration on it. So with the bottom grooves, I'm going to try to determine which side I like better to be the inside. I like this side to be the better than the inside of this one. And then, gosh, this is a close call on this one. I think this will be the inside. Now, there's a crack here, and I might be able to fix this crack. So I'm gonna do the crack on the inside, and then this whole ugliness here is gonna be cut away, which is a shame because this is really neat. But I think we'll make this the inside. So then we determine what the top and the bottom is, and alright, there we go. And then the final trick here is that this is just a groove, just going to it's just going to accommodate the bottom. So we're gonna, I have a mark on my table saw insert that indicates the exact center right there. So I can put a blade right on there and then just lower the saw blade to that. And now I have roughly halfway down. Go a little bit lower. And then, and finally, I'm going to go in like a 1/4 of an inch. It's probably deeper than I need to go. Let's do 3/8. So now I'm ready to cut the bevels for the box. What we're going to be doing is doing them upside down, and it's going to be 45-degree angle. And when setting the angle of the blade, what I do is, once again, I have this mark on my insert, and what we want to do is have it at 45 degrees. But I keep my blade at the full extent so that I have more material to determine that 45-degree angle. With 90-degree angle, it's not important, but with 45, what you're going to end up doing is you need to make sure that not only is the gauge you're using 90 degrees from the table, but it's also straight. And right there straight, and there's 90. And looking at the blade. Now also, make sure you do not measure with one of the carbide teeth, because that will set you off. Okay? So that's that. Now I can lower the blade for the cut. And you know, there's a lot of debate on how high to have your blade. I personally like my blade just above my material. I like it just like that in this particular cut. And the reason is that less likely of touching the blade. So now we're going to do our cut. Alright, all the pieces are cut and ready to glue up. Now, when cutting the bottom, what I did was I used the measurement of the actual sides to determine how long the bottom needs to be and how wide it needs to be, but also based on the sides. That way, I'm not relying on possibly faulty measurements. When I'm going to do the glue up, I'm going to add glue onto the bevels, and I'm going to add some touches of glue into this groove. Now, you'd say, well, what about wood expansion? Well, in all honesty, what about it? This is plywood. Plywood is stable. You don't have to worry about wood expansion with plywood. And by adding a touch of glue into these areas here, what's going to happen is, since this is such a narrow piece of bevel, it's going to add an extra strength to the glue up. So that's the plan, and what I'm going to use is blue tape. I'm going to put these upside down like that and have blue tape, and then I'm going to fold it. And the last time I made this box, I also put rubber bands as a clamp. So that's what we're doing next. Okay, so I've left this box and these rubber bands for a half an hour, actually a bit more like an hour. And now it's time to take off this makeshift clamping. One thing I did find out whenever I'm doing beveled boxes, rubber bands, usually the bevel boxes are kind of small, so this works perfectly. And rubber bands does a good job because it pushes pressure on all sides equally, so then you don't have to worry about putting too much pressure on one clamp versus another. So now I can take off this tape, and we can see how well this came out. In all honesty, I'm liking this method of clamping these boxes. This is not the first one I've done this way, but my bevels are coming out much cleaner, and it looks good. I'm very pleased with that. A little sanding, and we're going to be happy as a lark. Now, what I've done is off camera, I made a lid for this box, and I used a contrasting wood. This wood will turn darker. I'm probably going to use a vinegar treatment on it, steel wool vinegar treatment. But this is not a good lid because it doesn't latch in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'll do it on this side because I've already sanded this side. I'm going to use run the table saw blade and just make a little cut there, one blade width. It doesn't have to be deep, and just the width of this side, and it'll fit nicely into the box. The body of the box, I went ahead and flocked the inside, as you just saw, and now I'm going to darken the top. I want it to be a little bit more contrast than it is, and I particularly know this wood does a really nice job at handling the vinegar slash steel wool mixture. So that's what I'm going to do here. I have added a wax finish to this. I don't think this one came out too good, babe.
Oh yeah, right. It's beautiful. Get a grip.
Good. Finally, after every woodworking project, you should always count your fingers. You end with 10. Good job.